Who is Jesus? So many want to know more about this amazing God-man. Here's my friend Nick. Nicodemus, a curious young man in search of answers. And will he find them? If Maggie Deline has anything to do with it, he will. Mag knows just where to find the answer. Nick definitely needs Mag to help him find his way. Will he listen? Will he learn? Will he grow? Will he come to know who is Jesus?
Hi, friends. Alrighty, good to see you're back. Last week, we learned that Jesus is our teacher, and I'm trying to follow Jesus, like we learned 2 weeks ago. So I'm here, all dressed up like a teacher, ready to teach you, to figure out, with the help of my brilliant cousin, Maggie Deline, who is Jesus. I really should get to all this material. Oh, will you help me? What? You don't want to do all the reading of these books? Well, some of them actually have pictures, and look, this one has a map. No? You don't want to read? How long could it take? You know what? I think I'm just going to FaceTime Maggie. She seems to get to the bottom of things pretty fast. Hi, Maggie.
Oh, hi, Nick. Nice to hear from you. Did you not just love that cooking class last week? Shrimp pasta. Yum.
Oh, yes. I'm signed up for the 8 weeks of Italian cooking. I can't wait to get to the pastries. But I need your help again. I really want to follow Jesus by being a good teacher to the boys and girls watching. So I'm reading this epic story in the book of John.
The book of John, let me see here, written by the beloved John, a disciple who was so close to Jesus. Let's see, an eyewitness, just like Matthew, of all the things that happened when Jesus walked the face of the earth. Oh, I love the book of John. It truly tells us who Jesus is. If you've never read the Bible before, this is the perfect place to start. What story are you studying? There's so many good ones.
Well, I'm reading through John chapter 6, verses 1 to 15. The feeding of the 5,000. Like, how could someone do this without a Costco? Maybe 2 or 3 Costcos.
Well, Nick, let me find out what I can. Oh, yes, I have it here. Let me text you the link. I got something good.
Thanks, Maggie. Catch you later.
Bye.
Have you ever been really, really hungry? Like the kind of hungry that feels like a hole in your stomach? And you feel kind of grumpy because of it? Well, one day, more than 5,000 people felt this way all at once. They were listening to Jesus teach, and they listened so long, it was lunchtime. Everybody was hungry, but there was no food. Jesus told Philip, his disciple, to go and get the people some food. Philip wanted to obey Jesus, but feeding 5,000 people was like getting 2 hippos to ride a bicycle. It was impossible. Then Andrew, another disciple, found a little boy who had 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish. Imagine that you were that little boy. Could your 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish feed 5,000 people? You're right. It's almost as impossible as a hippo riding a bicycle. But Jesus took his bread and the fish and prayed, thanking God for it, and then invited everyone to sit down for a picnic lunch. The disciples passed it around to the first group, and then to another group, and then to this family and that bunch of kids playing, and the men talking together over there, and then women watching the children, and on and on and on until everyone was full and ready for an afternoon nap. That was a miracle, and Jesus was the miracle worker. The disciples went around cleaning up after the picnic and gathered 12 baskets full of leftovers, which was more than enough for their lunch too. That was miraculous too. Jesus wanted them to know that God had power to meet the needs of the people and their needs too. Can you remember along with that little boy that Jesus is a miracle worker and that God has the power to do anything?
Hey, Maggie, that was a great story. Thanks for sending that to me. It was an impossible task to the disciples, a task they couldn't seem to solve on their own. When Andrew brought that little boy to Jesus, I wonder if he doubted those 5 little loaves and 2 fish would even feed the disciples, let alone 5,000 people.
Well, it did show that Andrew had faith to believe that Jesus could use that little boy's lunch. He also knew just the right person to go to when he couldn't do something on his own. Who do you go to when something seems hard or even impossible?
Good question. I guess I just can't wrap my head around how Jesus could actually do this with just one little boy and a prayer. How did he get the food to divide up enough for everyone?
Nick, how many corners does this piece of paper have?
4.
This paper has 4 corners, that's right. What if I wanted to give you a corner? Okay, so now that I've given you a corner, how many corners do I have now?
Wait a minute. You have 5.
You see, the more times Jesus divided the bread and the fish, the more he had to give away. But really, Jesus was trying to get the disciples to understand something even deeper. Let's look at his reply. Jesus replied, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." John 6:35.
Cool. He wasn't really talking about lunch, was he?
No.
Now you have 6, 7, 8 corners. So cool. But I'm sure you couldn't get to 5,000 corners, Maggie.
Sure, Nick, you're probably right. So good thing we aren't having paper for lunch today. But let me get you the address of the local elementary school. There are some boys there that I would love for you to meet.
Boys? Why boys? Aren't I supposed to be teaching the kids?
Well, sometimes kids can really help us figure things out. We need their simple faith to believe, just like that boy in the story. And hey, I'm so hungry now because you've been talking about lunch. I'm gonna order some fish and chips. Let's see. From Andrew's famous fish and chip shop.
No takeout in Jesus' time.
Nope, that's for sure. All right, there's the address to the elementary school, and you better hurry. It's almost lunchtime now, and you want to make it before recess.
Got it.
Jesus replied, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." John 6, verse 35. Let's say it together, friends. Jesus replied, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." John 6:35.
Hey, boys. What do you got there?
Let's see. I have a granola bar, a tuna fish sandwich, some apples, and carrots. I don't really like carrots.
Me neither. And what about you? What do you have?
Well, I got my favorite, a Nutella sandwich, a banana, some goldfish, and cookies.
That looks good. How many people do you think you could feed with your lunch?
Just me.
And yeah, we really aren't supposed to be sharing our lunch at school. You know, in case of allergies.
All right. When I was in school, we traded lunch all the time. I had my mom pack extra oatmeal cookies so I could trade them for fruit roll-ups. I love fruit roll-ups.
And hey, who are you anyways? Are you supposed to be a substitute teacher? And what's with the hat?
No, I'm Nick. I'm kind of learning to be a teacher. Not a teacher at school, but a teacher of the Bible. And my cousin Maggie sent me here to ask you guys some questions.
A Bible teacher? Hey, do you go to my church?
Oh, you go to church? Even better. So, have you heard the story when Jesus feeds the 5,000 people?
Yep.
Okay. So, how did Jesus actually divide up those 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed all those people? Why don't we try to do it? Let's see how many pieces you can break your sandwiches into.
Cool, I'm in.
But I really want to eat my sandwich.
Well, you can eat it later in pieces. And hey, maybe there'll be leftovers like in the story.
All right, I'm in.
Okay, on your marks, get set, go. Okay. Great job, boys. So how many people do you think you could feed now with your sandwiches?
One, Nick. Just me.
Oh man, I just can't seem to figure this out. Maybe it's because we forgot to say grace?
Nick, the reason why Jesus could feed the 5,000 people with one boy's lunch is because it was a miracle.
Yes, a miracle. A surprising and often welcome event that can't be explained by natural and scientific causes. Therefore, the only explanation is a divine act of God.
Yeah, Nick, Jesus is a miracle worker.
A miracle worker. That's it. Jesus is a miracle worker. You guys are brilliant.
What's going on here? Hey, who are you? You're not supposed to be here.
Bye, guys.
And boys, what happened to your lunch?
Jesus replied, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. John 6, verse 35. Let's say it together, friends. Jesus replied, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. John 6, 35.
Welcome, everyone. Let's have some fun. In the story today, there were 12 baskets of leftovers that the disciples gathered after Jesus fed all the people. So, today, we're going to have a little fun pretending that socks are leftovers. Everyone has socks in your house, right? So go up to your sock drawer and bring all of your socks down here to play our game. Pause and go find them now. Okay, now that we've gathered all of our socks, I want you to divide the socks into 2 piles and put them at opposite sides of the room. You can divide yourselves into 2 teams, or you can play 1 versus 1. The object of the game is to have the smallest number of socks on your side. Now we've marked our line off with some tape. You can use anything in your house, a broomstick, a piece of rope, or some tape, or even just a table. Okay, we're gonna put a countdown on for 30 seconds and you can start throwing. Ready, set, go. Time. Stop throwing. Enough, you two. Okay, we have to count. So count how many socks are on your side. This one won't count. It's right on the middle. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 16, 17, 18, 19 on Laurel's side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 on Jenny's side, which makes Jenny the winner. Okay, so all these socks don't make 12 baskets, but a whole basket of leftover socks is more than enough for everyone. Boys and girls, I hope you had fun, and maybe you should help sort through the socks to make sure they return to the right drawer. Okay, bye.
Maggie, hey, I just got back from the elementary school. And I guess you can't just walk into class without signing in at the office.
Well, that's a well-known fact.
Anyways, Nathan and Riley really helped me to understand that what happened that day when Jesus fed more than 5,000 people. It was 100% a miracle that can't be explained by scientific fact or natural laws. That nothing is impossible for God. And when we place what we have in His hands, He can take it and make something awesome. Can you imagine what that boy with the lunch was thinking? His lunch fed over 5,000 people, and there were 12 baskets left over.
Hey, speaking of leftovers, you want a fish stick?
Oh, yeah. Can I have some of that tartar sauce? Hey, do you think Jesus could multiply tartar sauce?
Probably.
Have you ever seen a miracle? A miracle is different than simply something that's amazing. The miracles that Jesus did in the Bible always pointed the disciples to focus on God's power. When we accept that God has the power to help us, our faith increases. Jesus lived totally connected to God, his Father. And you and I can too. Don't be afraid to ask God when you need help with something, even if you think it would be impossible. Our faith needs practice. And if we don't ask, God can't show us how much he cares about the details of our lives. I believe that someday God is going to use you in a powerful way. Miracles still happen today. Let me pray for you. Dear Jesus, thank you for working miracles so that we could understand that God is powerful and able to work in our lives too. Build up our faith today. Amen.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. 'Cause you are